I want to welcome everybody back to King's Court. Tonight, I want to welcome what I consider to be one of the founding fathers of hip hop's golden age, the one and only Grandmaster Get High, aka Easy D, aka DMC, one third of the groundbreaking hip hop group Run DMC. Welcome, man.
Yo, what's up, King? How you?
I'm doing good. I want to just. It's an honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to interview for King's Court, and I want to thank you for taking time out to do the interview.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, when did you first decide back in the day that MCing was something you wanted to do?
Well, first of all, before I even thought of being an MC, I wanted to be a DJ. Grandmaster Flash was a big influence on me when hip hop first invaded Hollis, Queens, New York. And I heard Flash do the quick mixing, the scratching, and cutting up good times and super sperm and, all the break beats. And I was like, wow, whatever that is, that's what I want to do. But I think what really made me put down the turntables and pick up the mic is when I really first heard Africa Bambaataa in the Zulu Nation, Furious 5, which was Flash's group, Furious 5 MCs. But what really said, yo, forget being a DJ, I'm an MC, is when I heard the Cold Crush 4 MCs with DJ Charlie Chase and Tony Tone.
Okay.
They were a group out of the Bronx who wasn't really big on records, but I would say tapes of their performances sold like albums sell today.
Okay.
I paid $20 for my first Cold Crush tape. After that, it was a wrap. I said, I'm going to be DMC and a place to be.
Well, I'm very grateful, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are grateful you did. I read somewhere that...
A huge influence on me.
Yeah. I read somewhere that when Russell gave you guys the name Run DMC, that you guys hated it.
Yeah, that's a true statement because when Joe first said, yo, D, you want to be in my group? Russell is going to make me a record. Russell's going to let me make a record because Joe, he used to be called the son of Curtis Blow. And he was 12 years old, and, if he wasn't in school or if it was summertime, he was able to go to the shows that Russell was doing with Curtis Blow because Russell was managing Curtis Blow. Russell also was a hip-hop party promoter. He would go get Kurt Flash, Eddie Cheever, Bam, and he would put the show on, and, he would promote college parties. But Joe was always asking, Russell, let me make a record, Russell. Let me make a record. I'm dope. I'm good. Let me make a record. Russell was like, no. And then when Russell told Joe, yo, you can make a record. I guess he told Joe this to turn him off. He was like, you can't make a record till you show me a diploma. So when Joe got his diploma, he went to Russell and said, here it is. So Russell had to be a man of his word, and Joe was like, yeah, I don't want to rhyme alone. I'm going to put Darryl McDaniels in my group. And Russell was like, Darryl McDaniels? Who you talking about? D? D ain't no MC. But to make a long story short, when we first wrote It's Like That, and That's the Way It Is, and Sucker Seeds, which was our first record, Russell was like, wow, y'all guys are really good together now. Y'all need a name. And we was like, yo, we're going to be, the Dynamic 2, Treacherous 2, Devastating 2, because that was the thing. But Russell was like, nah, y'all going to be Run DMC because you're Run and he's DMC. But people going to think it's one person, Run the MC, and me and Run was crying. Literally crying, Russell, that's the fakest thing in the world. Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation is going to hate us. Nobody's going to like us. That's not, because it wasn't even rap and hip-hop. It was the other MCs ain't going to like us. Russell, you going to ruin us. But, see, if you say it now, it sounds good. Run DMC. But you got to imagine, when me and Run first heard it, it was the worst thing we ever heard in the world.
And now it's like a household name.
That's what's crazy about it. I don't know how that happened. In a million years, I could never figure that out.
Yeah, like I could go on for probably about an hour listing all the firsts and the achievements that Run DMC's captured, but there's three that stand out to me. There's
Uh,
the greatest hip hop group of all time by MTV, the greatest hip hop artist of all time by VH1, and last but not least, you guys being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
wow.
Those
Wow. VH1 said the what? VH1 said we're the one
VH1 said you
greatest.
got greatest hip hop artist of all time by VH1 in 2007.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow. 'Cause I had heard the group thing. I think I've seen that show, but I didn't stick around and see who was number one. But wow. You know, it's crazy because I look at it like this. We used to just rap over those beats, you know, Aerosmith and Queen, and probably there was, you know, one day where we even threw on, you know, Rolling Stones records, and, you know, we rapped over those rap icon records, and we were just rhyming. We were just MCs, and it wasn't even hip-hop business. It wasn't about records. We were just rhyming. We come from the parks. We come from the streets. We come from the pavement. We used to beat on the walls in the hallways. We used to beat on the lunchroom tables. And here we are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can't explain it. It's a beautiful thing. I think what it really represents is that hip-hop is a legitimate form of music, because when we first started, I would say from like 83 to 88, it was always this rapper fad. These were the questions we would get from journalists and, you know, reporters and interviews. Is rapper fad? Where do you think you'll be in 5 years, et cetera, et cetera. This just proved that we are legit. But even deeper than that, all Run DMC did that was really special was we took the beat from the street and we put it on TV. Like I said in Adidas, we took the beat from the street and put it on TV.
Yeah.
We didn't say it has to be like this, you got to look a certain way. We wasn't like a lot of rappers, even though it was rappers in the 80s. I ain't going to say their name, but they was like, white people can't be down with hip-hop, and, you know, rap is only for the ghetto and black people. We didn't see it like that. We saw it as a vehicle to communicate our ideas, you know, where the youth and, you know, I don't care if it was Latinos or blacks, Asians, white kids. It was a way for us to be heard, and it's like I tell a lot of young kids in this generation, we wasn't just spitting rhymes to impress my 16-year-old friend. We was bugging out governments and lawmakers and politicians and preachers. They was like, do you hear and see what these young kids with nothing are doing? But what I was going to say about the deeper part of this, the rappers before Run DMC, who there would be no Run DMC without, they prophesied that. If you go listen to rap records before Run DMC, and even deeper, before rap records was even made, if you go get a tape of Cold Crush, Funky 4+1, Melly Mel, and, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Treacherous 3 MCs, Africa Bambaataa, Soul Sonic Force, Zulu Nation, Busy Bee Starsky, Lovebug Starsky, Fantastic Five MCs, Grand Wizard Theodore. If you go get a cassette tape of MCs before rap was even on record, they all said our names will go down in history. Our names will be found in the Hall of Fame. They all prophesied it, so it had to come true because they said it.
And, you know, one might even say that you guys predicted it when the video of King of Rock came out, because it shows
And
you...
the guy said, Larry Bud Melman said, you guys can't come in here. This is a rock and roll museum. And we was, I'm the king of, because even then, too, like when rap was always competitive, so we didn't say we're the kings of rap. And when we said that, these rappers were, it was like a diss to every rapper without having to say, we got to go battle and, you know, battle like these rappers do today. It was like, we're the kings of rock, and the rappers was like, hey, Run DMC, what about us? We was like, you guys ain't even important to us. We're trying to take out the Rolling Stones and Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis. They was like, oh my God, these guys have the balls to not even think about us.
Yeah, and well, from April 4th, 2009, you guys will be wrecking havoc in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man, and it's a good thing. And for me personally, this is for everybody, whoever touched a record, whoever brought a record, whoever brought a cassette tape, whoever brought a CD, whoever wore the Adidas because we wore them, whoever wore the glasses because I wore them, whoever put on a Kango or Godfather hat or a gold chain or a Adidas suit, whoever came to a concert, whoever went to go see our movies, whoever said hip-hop was because Run DMC, no, that's not true. Hip-hop is because of you. So we accept this award for all of us collectively together that ever said hip-hop is the best thing in the world to me.
Yeah, I hear you there. Like, I wore the Adidas, I had the fat gold chain, I went to the movies, I went to the shows, and
all that.
It was
because it's like, my thing is this now. When people come to me and say I'm a fan, I say, no, don't say you're a fan. You're my friend. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Because if you say you're my fan, that means that I'm better than you or above you. The thing with Run DMC, whether you was in Beverly Hills or the ghetto, you knew Che, Jal, and Cho. We represented you. If you say my fan, I'm not better than you. I ain't smarter than you. I am not more talented than you. I am you.
I like that.
I hate when, I'm on MySpace and on my website and when I go to colleges and do my lectures and when I visit the group homes and the jails, I tell the people that whether it's a, kid in the 6th grade or an inmate who's locked down for life, I say, don't say that to me. I rep you, and you should see the feeling of pride or, something to be proud about it gives them.
Yeah, definitely.
We speak, hip-hop speaks for those who can't really speak, but the thing with hip-hop is, if it's the fashion, like when people first seen Run DMC, and this is nothing against the rappers before us, because you know how great the rappers before us are? The reason why they dressed the way they did was they had no rappers to look up to. So who was Mel and Bam's idols? The reason why they went from, they used to wear Adidas. They used to wear Pumas and mock necks and the Adidas suits and the Kangos, and they used to wear the Gecko chains. But when they got into show business, when hip-hop went on records and went to show business, they was like, okay, we got to, do this Hollywood show thing. Who was their idols? If you look at Flash and Pam and them, Parliament Funkadelic, Rick James, you know what I'm saying? Earth, Wind, and Fire. The rappers before Run DMC had no rappers to look up to. The reason why we did what we did, we would look at the flyers of Flash and Pam before they were, entertainment, before they were recording artists. And if you was to get a flyer of Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, Cold Crush 4 at Harlem World at the Autobahn, on the cover, Melanum threw his 5 hat on, sheepskins, Adidas, Leaves, everything we was wearing. So when we started making records, like I said, we took the beat from the streets, put it on TV. So when people first seen us, they was like, I know them. And the things they're talking about, I think about those things. Hip-hop is the total reflection of the B-boy or the B-girl, which is the male figure of hip-hop, or the female figure of hip-hop, regardless of race, creed, color, height, location, weight, or religion. We speak for it. Why do you think they like it in Germany? Why do you think they like it in Asia? Why did you think it started in Harlem and it had to be liked by the kids in Queens, and then these kids from Queens came and put it on TV, and everybody across America started loving it, even way out on the West Coast, and then it went from America to Asia and to Europe, because whether it's the rock and roll kid with the old boots, the ripped up jeans, and a small stinky T-shirt, the hip-hop kid got to have the new boots, the new jeans, and the fresh T-shirt. It's the same feelings, but different expressions. We're no different from white people. We're no different from, poor people is no different from rich people when it comes to hip-hop. I mean, the perception of hip-hop today is just crappy and disrespectful, devaluing. It's just blasphemy. But the true expression of hip-hop was for that for the 3 minutes and a 3.5, 4 minutes of a record, or 3 hours at a show, or sitting there listening to hip hop on the rap show at nighttime. For those special precious moments, we all are the same. If you're white and rich and I'm poor and black, we still got beef with our mothers. We still got crushes on girls. We still got problems in school. We still got peer pressure. We still got it goes on and on. It's all relative. But the way hip-hop is being portrayed today on MTV and VH1 and even on, so-called radio, that's only 2% of what hip-hop is about, and even the superstars are not reflecting our total existence, because the kids in the streets and these younger kids of this new generation look at these rap stars, and these rap stars give them, MTV cribs, here's my jacuzzi, here's my bed, here's how many cars in my garage, but they don't give the kids now what? So me personally, I could care less what you got in your refrigerator and who the hell you're dating and how many rims on your car. We want go change. And kids today will say, y'all old school guys are just mad. Y'all rapped about material things too. And I say, my brother or sister, you're 100% right, but we rapped about it one time and you never heard about it again. You guys today are on your 5th and 10th albums and still talking about the same things. And first of all, my younger brother of this generation, when we first rapped about a car or a big TV set or a mansion, we rapped about things we wished we could get. Then we made a record that we was happy we had them, and then you never heard about them again. These guys today is still my bank account and my money and my girl and my money and my car and this and that. And I'm saying that's all you have because that's all you are, the substance.
Yeah, it's less
for
about
us. We reflected on, I was poor. I ain't poor no more. I'm happy I'm not poor no more. And then we didn't dwell. Yes, here's my Cadillac and my Benz. You know what I'm saying? Now that we got it, what else could we rap about? These guys is like, what it is they're afraid to address the major issues that continue to confront our so-called, hip-hop community. And the hip-hop community is a global community. So it's not just about rags and riches. It's about now that we're here, we need to do what the rappers who were probably only 12 years old or 22 years old. We wasn't politicians, and some of us wasn't even educated. But we took it upon ourselves to rhyme about the problems in our community, the problems, the social, we addressed the social issues. We talked about economics. We talked about politics. We talked about religion. And we talked about history in the midst of rapping about how great we were on the microphone and how many cars we had.
Yeah, today it seems like it's more about, like you say, how many cars you had or making the new dance move. It's not about real lyricism anymore.
Exactly. We don't care about what you call the dance. Just do the dance and say something positive to us, hip-hop culture. That's what's going on now.
Yeah. I want to get into a little bit. In 97, you were diagnosed with a vocal disorder. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, they wanted to diagnose it with that because they couldn't diagnose it with that because I don't have that. Basically, they said, everything you did, you know what the doctor did? He put on his like that and said, hear you yelling like that? Yeah, don't do that no more and you'll be all right. Because first it was, okay, his vocal strain, this and that. Okay, don't talk for a couple of days. But then they couldn't diagnose that because that's like saying, somebody who they thought had cancer but really didn't have it. They just put on this like that and said, don't be going, people in the world, don't do that. You'll never rhyme again. So you're fucking 30 years old now. You ain't fucking 18 no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the doctor put his like that on. He said, let me hear what you're doing now, okay? Let me hear what you're doing on stage every night. He said, D, stop trying to match that voice. You don't have that no more. You do that, you'll rhyme for 100 years. But if you keep trying to sound like you sounded when you was 18, you're going to ruin your throat.
Okay.
So for a minute, you know, you go there. I went to 50 doctors. I would say 25% of the doctors out of 100% said, "Oh, you have this thing." Because you know why? Because they wanted to keep seeing me. They wanted to keep putting me on drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then the other doctor, he looked at me, and you know, the crazy thing was this. I remember when I first went to the throat doctor, they took some numbing stuff and they sprayed my throat, and then they stuck this long metal tube down my nose. And it was, it was a camera. So, and my wife, she fainted.
I bet.
And then I fainted. She was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing to me?" But the guy looked at my vocal cords and was like, "Yo, your vocal cords are not bruised, raised, bleeding, swelled, or nothing like that." So I went home, and then he came back for the checkup, and he really didn't know what I do. So he was like, "D, you're not a singer, so for..." Up until that point, he was like, "Yo, for 15 years, you was abusing your voice. You just went out there and just did it every night. You didn't hum, you didn't do no warm-ups, you didn't do what Whitney and Mariah do. You don't have a vocal coach." He said he was the best coach ever. He said he put on the first record ever made, People in the World. He said, "You hear that? Don't do that no more and you'll be all right." So that's when I ran back to the studio and just had to recreate my delivery.
Yeah, I've heard that on the track that I'm going to ask you about in a bit. First, I wanted to ask you about a fellow Canadian, and Sarah McLachlan. And can you tell my listeners what makes her special to you?
Well, her record, Angel, saved my life. I think that record came out in 97, something like that. Between 96 and 97, I called myself an alcoholic, metaphysical, spiritual wreck. I was at a point in my life where I was hearing my peers in the rap game go, "You know, when I get 35 years old, I might not be rapping no more. You know, I'll be doing other things." And I was like, what? Then I'm hearing the so-called music business guys, all the executives, "Oh, hip-hop is a younger person's music." And I'm like, you know, I was like, damn, am I fucking up? Excuse me. I was like, man, am I supposed to not stop rapping? What am I supposed to do? And then creatively, me and Ryan, we was on different pages. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want to rap about my rims, and I don't want to do records with all the younger. I don't want to do records with the popular dudes. You know how the music industry will say, "You need this producer, and you should go get a verse from the hard artist, this and that." I was like, man, forget all of that. We Run DMC. We'll bust anybody's ass any day on any stage, in any studio, on any record, on any beat, on any type of music. That was my focus, but it seems like the label and, you know, Run and other influence was telling Run DMC, "Here's what y'all should do." Man, you ain't know what I was doing when I was 12 years old in my room writing my rhymes when I was Easy D, and you damn sure don't know now. Because if anybody in this industry knew what we should be doing, the phrase "hip-hop is dead" would never came up. But to make a long story short, creatively, personally, physically, spiritually, I was a wreck, and I didn't want to live no more because I read the Bible 25 times. My wife thought it was crazy. I read the Quran every time. This is when Jay was alive. Every time we would go over to Europe, I would, read the Buddha book, because when you're in a hotel in Europe, Asia, when you go over to Asia, they put the Bible and they got the Buddha book there. So I'm reading that, and I'm still not getting fulfillment. And I was like, okay, there's this guy named Deepak Chopra. I read all his books, and that ain't doing nothing for me. So I was like, from the metaphysical experience, I was like, this plane of existence, I've accomplished everything I did because I was only put on earth for this period of time to be DMC, the great rap guy. And I was going to kill myself. But I got in the car one day, turned the radio on, Sarah McLachlan, Angel came on. Make a long story short, that record, Angel, made me say life is beautiful, it's good to be alive. That's why DMC is alive to this day.
And I'm glad that you heard that song then.
And once I heard the song, I was like, wow, I'm going to make a record with her to help people, I'm going to make a record with her to do what her record did to me. Called her up, make a long story short, flew over to Vancouver, Canada, because she invited me to her house because she liked my music and Life is Beautiful. I tell people the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life, in my career, was to make a record with Sarah McLachlan, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, she's also my wife's favorite artist, too.
Ever, of all time. Best singer-songwriter ever.
And the song that you made with her, that came about after you found out some startling family news. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. During all this time, I realized what was the whole problem during the time when I thought I was crazy was I was adopted at an early age and didn't know it my whole life. So I had found out prior to, after all this Sarah McLachlan stuff, 3 years went by, and then I found out I was adopted. Then I put two and two together. That's what was driving me crazy. I was adopted, and I didn't know that secret, that mystery, that lie my whole life.
So that's
let
what
me
you were...
know there's a reason why I became DMC, but not just to be the things that you said I had on VH1 and MTV, and not just to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's a bigger reason why I became DMC. So it was appointed for Sarah McLachlan's record to keep me alive so I could really do what I was put here on this earth to do.
And that spread a message, and in 2006...
Exactly, through the music of hip-hop, because Daryl McDaniels was given hip-hop. I'm not a politician, and I'm not religious, but I was given a foundation of hip-hop to use to make it better for every living soul on the face of the earth. That's why DMC is the devastating mic controller, because he's going to be doing something devastating to prevent destruction and death in the world.
In 2006, you founded the Felix organization. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what it does?
Yeah, well, after I found out that I was adopted, I found out the whole terrible transaction of that process. So what I'm trying to do from that process is remove the guilt and shame. Because, like I said, the name of the record I did with Sarah McLachlan was called Just Like Me, because there's a lot of people just like me. There's a whole lot just like me. And those people I'm talking about is grown-up people, older people older than me. They're struggling with identity and purpose, and especially the little foster kids who, see, I was fortunate to be adopted. Not lucky. I was fortunate to be adopted because that was part of the process that was going to allow DMC to exist. So I had to look at my situation and say, okay, there's a lot of kids in foster care who might not get adopted, but they go through life saying, they threw me away, nobody loves me, I'm garbage, I wasn't worth nothing. And so I started the Felix organization with my fellow adoptee, Sheila Chaffee, who is the casting director of Sopranos, Entourage, John Travolta movies, Mark Wahlberg movies. She's a big dog in Hollywood. She was adopted too. So we got together and said, yo, what about all the kids that might not get adopted, that'll go through foster care all their lives? At 18 years old, they get kicked down on the street and they're alone. We have to do something to show them that they have all the potential, probably even more than people. These kids need to see people who are in their situation, because what we have to do with kids, whether it's foster kids, adopted kids, kids who, whose mothers and fathers are on drugs, kids who have been abused, we have to show them that they cannot let their situation define who they are. So I use me. I don't rhyme about drugs. I never been in jail. I don't get on records talking about thugs and negativity. I'm a kid who wasn't even from, the Bronx or Harlem. But I went to school. I got straight A's. I did what I had to do. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. And I was able to become who I am today even though my situation is just like yours. And when you tell a kid that, all it does is give them a feasible, touchable, concrete hope. Not like a hope where when religion says, let's say a prayer for them and hope he turns out right, and the government says, let's make a law for these kids and hope they turn out right. Put the Bible down, push the psychology books and the laws to the side, and look a kid in his eye and say, man, I am just like you, and all you got to do is believe in yourself because I do. That's the way you change a kid's life. So we started the Felix organization to give opportunities, whether it's recreational, educational, or financial, to children who are in our same shoes, who might not be fortunate to have Twyford and Vanna as their mother and father. And we took a small step, because the first thing we was going to do was build a city for these kids and have places of learning, facilities for vocational needs, educational, and also to help the kids through the traumatic experience, whether it's foster care, abuse, et cetera, But people was like, you can't just go build a United States of America for foster kids without starting small. So what we did was start with a summer camp so that we could bring these kids together and they could see that there's other kids just like them in the world, but also they could see, wow, there's a rapper that was a foster kid, and there's a doctor that was oh wow, there's an athlete that was, oh my God, there's a talent director and so on. So these kids could see what they are able to be at any time in their life.
I applaud you for that.
Thank you. And we really did it, though. See, the funny thing about us is we really did it because when you're sitting in with these kids, listen, I'm 40 years old going through what these kids go through from the day they come out the womb up until they're probably 20, 21, 22, and if they don't get adopted, they got these issues with them all their life. And even if they do get adopted, they got these issues with all of life. A lot of times being with these kids and seeing the way they handle life is therapy and help for me.
Definitely. Kids have one of the greatest outlooks on life because they haven't been tainted.
Exactly. You should see one time we took the kids to the mall and said, here's $200 each. Go in the mall and shop and do whatever you want. These kids I'm talking about, their life was worse than mine. They didn't know what to do, so they went and brought presents for everybody they loved. Yeah. These foster kids who you would think, I'm going to go get Nikes, and I'm going to go get the new G-Unit thing, and I'm going to go get these kids went out and brought presents for their social workers, for their doctors, they brought presents for brothers and sisters that they don't even get to see, with the hope maybe I might see my brother next week because his foster family's in the Bronx. And, these kids don't have family. They're separate. And me and my fellow adoptees and even the social workers was like, wow. These kids didn't go buy clothes. They brought gifts for people that they love because they don't get love where they need it. They don't have they don't have Twyford and Vanna. Like in my life, at the height of my career, when I didn't know I was adopted, I didn't rhyme about, I'm a millionaire and this. I rhymed about the most precious thing to me, son of Twyford, brother of Al. Vanna's my mama and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. I didn't rhyme about I'm the most famous rapper in the world and I'm on MTV and Run DMC just sold 3 million records. I rhymed about that. These kids don't have Twyford and Vanna, but they still have a lot of love. We could turn that love into potential, and these kids could be the next great DMCs, the next Jay-Zs, the next Obamas, and the list goes, the next rulers of the world. But we have to show them that is available to them, as opposed to, Viacom, this big world conglomerate network, and all they could show is tits and ass and trunks on MTV. It's a shame rappers like DMC and Chuck D and KRS-One can only get on the radio old school at noon. That's from 12 to 1 o'clock when all the kids is in school. But when the kids get out of school, 3 to 10 o'clock, all you hear is the rappers that you hear during prime time. And what are they talking about? Cars, money, how much drugs they sell, how many women they bed, who got beef. You tell me that there's not a conspiracy with that?
Yeah, there's a couple things.
It may not be on a government level. The conspiracy is this. Let's sell sex, violence, and destruction to these kids because they're excited about it. They'll buy it. So you tell me where the responsibility is at. The responsibility is, and I used to blame the corporations. The responsibility is on the MC. If you make a record about a gun, if you hip-hop, I don't care about no other music and no other entertainment industry. If you hip-hop, if you rhyme about a gun, you have to rhyme about not using a gun. If you rhyme about a bitch in the hole, you have to rhyme about positive. You have to. But these guys nowadays don't do it, and people ask me the solution. What should we do? First of all, not only should we run up in these offices and pull all these music executives out and beat their asses, we should start making the rappers themselves accountable.
Oh, definitely.
Instead of wasting my time doing that, I'd rather use the game that they set up against them, because that's what's going to put them all out of business.
Definitely. Like, my show, personally, I don't play the mainstream rap. I don't play I got diamonds, I got houses, I got cars, because like you said, I don't have those. I play what I can relate to, lyricism and indie music that people might not have heard, old school tracks that me...
Because it deals with all aspects of it. It's okay to hear records about dreams and records about wealth and opulence. I just don't want to hear 150 of them all day, every day. And especially to the point where people that don't even do those things, people that are not drug dealers and criminals and thugs and hoodlums, and people that are not rich rhyming about stuff they don't do. That's what I'm saying. That's what pisses me off.
Definitely. It's about being real and not about persona. I mean, don't like to name names, but I just heard a track that dropped recently that's dissing Oprah. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's why diss somebody that's not even in the business and can't respond? But that's my 2 cents.
Oh, that's my son saying he's on the bus. Okay. Hey, what's next? Sorry, that's my son. He's gonna be getting out of school soon.
That's okay. I heard, 2 of my favorite songs on the album. The one that you dropped in 2006, Checks, Thugs, and Rock and Roll. One was Just Like Me. The other one was Machine Gun. Now, how did you get the dude from CSI to be on a DMC track, Gary Dordain?
Oh, that's a crazy thing. One day I was in L.A., and the people that I was working with was like, yo, we need to make a record. That's a great question, and it's a great question. I was just with Chuck D, right? And he was sitting here saying, yo, this Obama stuff is really great, man. It's really great, but they're acting like this is some new. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop culture been having that mentality of change, right? So this goes in line with Chuck was like, yeah, because if you look at rock and roll dudes, man, rock and roll dudes ain't scared of nothing. If it's the Vietnam War, they gonna talk about it, how they feel about it. They don't care if it's right or wrong. If it's a problem in a community or society or in Africa, this and that, the rock and roll dude is gonna get together and talk about it now. We say hip-hop is so good and so powerful, ain't none of our leaders in hip-hop addressing the issues. Because, look, when you think about the war, both of the Gulf Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are my brothers and sisters. That's my generation going on there. Now, one hip-hop guy was vocal, and I'm not talking about make a record about it and don't say nothing about it no more. Like when Tupac got shot and died, we get together, we make Stop the Violence record. But then we go back, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then Biggie dies, we get together, this and that. Yo, you can't just give out turkeys on Thanksgiving. You got to give them out every day. But I made that record because I was like, this isn't like I'm 8 years old and my older brother and my mother and father and my grandfather, they sit in the room saying, we need to say something about the war. This is happening during our lifetime, our generation, and those are like, that's like my friend could go tomorrow, and it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And peeps, look, we 40, a lot of hip-hoppers is 40, 50, 60 years old now. It's their sons and daughters going over there. And we always was rhyming about whether it was Reaganomics, we always rhymed about, the government don't care about us, this and that. Nobody's rhyming about one of the biggest issues during our lifetime. So I was in L.A. one day, and the dudes I was working with was like, yo, I know a dude who got a studio open right now. You want to go? Okay, so let's go. So we go down to the beach in L.A., and when we walk in the house, it's Gary Durden. And I'm like, oh, snap. So this is, yo, what's up? And he's like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, I just want to tell you, dude, when my man called me, he called me late at night, and he's like, yo, I'm bringing DMC over your house to use your studio. And Gary didn't believe him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you bring, yeah, right, don't play with me, but come on over anyway. So Gary thought the man was lying. DMC, you bringing him to my house right now. Yeah, right. Ha, 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 wonderful joke. So I walk in there, and Gary's like, oh, shoot, yo, this is crazy, this and that. But when I get to Gary's house, he got 1 million guitars on the wall. He got 50 drum sets around. He got keys. He's a musician. He's a crazy musician. Then he's like, okay, y'all, go do what y'all got to do. So we go in there because we had the idea, we going to make a record. We're going to do Machine Gun over because all these rappers is punks. The politicians is punks. Oh, this ain't political. This is life. So we're going to make this record. We don't care what happened. You know what I'm saying? We don't even care. We don't even care if they think, how could DMC blaspheme a Jimi Hendrix song like the Aerosmith fans did when we did Walk This Way. But to make a long story short again, Gary Durden had books and books and books and books and books, not only of his songs, but he's also a spoken word artist. So I'm like, yo, how could the universe operate like this? Spoken word poetry is like the brother or sister of hip-hop. It's just another level, another vehicle for aspiring MCs to use because the record companies ain't going to give them a deal. So we could turn the music off. So Gary, I was like, yo, Gary, man, yo, could you put one of do you have anything where you're speaking on the war? And Gary said, you serious, man? He got all nervous, and he and a producer guy that was helping us with the record, we was laughing at it because he was like, yeah, he does this. And I was like, yo, you put the first on my record. That's how that went down. It was so divinely appointed. We needed a studio. This guy didn't even tell me it was Gary Durden. I got a friend who has a studio. We go over there. Gary didn't believe, but when I got there, he had 50 million guitars, drum sets, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. They done very nice home studio, and I was like, yo, what's these books? So I do songs. He gave me some of his CDs, but then he was like, I do spoken word. So I said, this is a chance for me to give some time to the spoken word artist.
Yeah, I seen that. I listened to the track, and they kind of watched the video. Was when I clued in. It was the CSI guy.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's
wow,
crazy.
And he sings, and he does the spoken word on the track.
Yeah, it's incredible. Perfect thing.
Yeah. I also heard there might be a new DMC album coming out. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. I have to do another one because after I put Check Studs and Rock and Roll out, I mean, the way I did it that time, I didn't even do it with music people. I had done the deal with some oil dudes from Detroit. And we had made the album. We shot the 2 videos, but this is funny. They was like, because such a big success at the time, before the business and CDs and sales and downloading and file share hit its peak. Yeah. They was thinking, okay, DMC is bigger than fucking. Excuse me, let me stop cursing because it's going on the radio, right?
Yeah, but I'm on uncensored, so.
Oh, okay. So they was like, DMC is bigger than Elvis. So they was thinking, he finished the album, we shot the videos, we could just put the album out and it'll sell. So I had when I talk about no promotion and marketing, I had no promotion and marketing. So my management, all the people that worked on the album, they got all sad. And I had to be the guy that, you know, the artist caught up in all the middle of this, and I'm looking people go bald, turn gray. At part of the text, I said, guys, calm down. First of all, the album is a success. How is it success? Because we made it. We completed the task everything we intended to do, we did, right? And then I said, guys, technically it's not a flop because nobody knows it's out. And you should have seen these guys' faces. But what really happened was this. I went over to Japan, you know, to do some shows and promote the album. And I literally did 50 interviews. Every interview, every one of them, the people were going, the Japanese journalists were going, whether it was a man or a girl, the first question they would ask me was, we're happy to have you, DMC. Wow, legend. You know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to imitate them because I was wondering why they keep asking me. They would always go, okay, before we start the interview, are you okay? And I would go, yeah. Then I get to the 20th one. Are you okay? 21. Then it finally got to number 50. No, it got to 49. And they asked me, are you okay? And I said, hold up. Why did every interview, why do y'all keep asking me that? And he was like, what? All of y'all keep asking me and I'm okay. And they held up the album, pointed at it, and said, album very dark. Because then I thought about it. Oh, my God. That album, I'm around about the war. I'm around about alcoholism, killing people. Remember, my wife, the kids, the things to live. When I'm alone in my room staring at the wall, I hear all the ghosts walking. I'm around about adoption, being thrown away, the war, alcoholism, JB and Ted. And when I did number 50 asked me, DMC, it is crazy how this worked out. Is there anything you would have did different on your first solo album? And because from 49, 1 to 49, they kept asking me, am I okay? Because the album was very depressing when I look back on it. But it was actually my therapy. That album wasn't an album. That album was my therapy. Me, I didn't know who to talk to. I couldn't turn to Joe, couldn't turn to Run, couldn't turn to my record company, couldn't turn to management. This wasn't about music business. But that album, me talking into that microphone was like me talking to my therapist. But they asked me that question, and I said, man, you know what? I would have made a happier record. I would have written that, and I'm kind of glad that the whole world didn't hear that album for this reason. Because now when I walk the earth, that's what I was saying. Who cares that I didn't sell 20,000 records? Because this was important for me. When people come up to me and say, yo, I heard that Sarah McLachlan record, it made me think differently about my life for being adopted, or it made me think differently about me being a foster kid. I was ashamed of that. Or they go, D, I ain't even adopted in that Sarah. I'm talking about B-boys. I'm talking about gangsters from Houston, Texas. Yo, dude, that Sarah McLachlan homie, man. Yo, that thing right there, man, that's gangster. And I'm like, what? Or I remember I was filming a commercial, and the director who was directing the commercial pulls me to the side and says, D, I want to thank you. And I go, for what? For making that, talking about alcoholism on your album, because it was something I was struggling with. But when I heard you talk about you being an alcoholic, it helped me. Or I had the lady come up to me crying, saying, yo, DMC, I was suicidal, and everything that you said on that record is how I felt, but I was afraid to confront those emotions. So I got to do another record, because this record now is going to be the happiness record. You know, the other one was so depressing.
Yeah.
And the new record it's going to be called The Origins of Block Music.
I seen that up on your site, and there's going to be a single coming soon.
Yep, called Block Music Education. The reason why I'm calling it Block Music, I'm saying this. Okay, we have rock and roll, we got hip-hop, right? Rock and roll, for some reason, they make sure nobody devalues that. But right now, I'm pissed off, not with hip-hop itself. The culture is there. I'm just pissed off the way the music business diluted it, polluted it, and making my hip-hop look like a joke. So I'm like this. Okay, we could, the other day, I'm getting out the car at the gas station, and a young white guy looks over at me. I guess he was about 22 years old. He goes, Oh my God! It was like he seen Elvis. You know how they say Elvis dead, but people see him at the gas station.
Yeah.
So people never see me because I'm not on TV like Run. So this guy sees me. He probably heard my record, since he was 3, because his older brother and sister, his father, probably even his grandfather, because I've been around so long, played Suck and See and rock all his life. So he goes, "Oh my God, a legend!" And he goes, "DMC, ain't you?" He goes, "Ain't you that guy from that group?" He goes, "Didn't you used to be a hip hopper?" I was like, "Oh man, nah, I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off." So, if the connotation is when you say hip hop. For a person that don't know hip-hop, he going to think it's the bullshit that's on the radio and MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, I don't care if the lady's from Wisconsin, she's going to start thinking about these cats that's out now. So I'm like, okay, we got hip-hop. Then Run DMC came along and took hip-hop and put it with rock and roll. But the way hip-hop is now, we need something new and exciting. So I said, I'm going to start block music. And people are going to go, what the hell is block music, DMC? It's artistic expression from the streets, the blocks, the hallways, the lunchrooms, the basements, the garages of the world. It's hip-hop all over again. But this time around, because it's DMC saying, here's what it is, I'm going to monitor it so I'll keep all the vultures, I'll keep all the rats and roaches out there, because I want to see the day where the 12-year-old, 17-year-old, 22-year-old, 30-year-old, and 60-year-olds on stage doing hip-hop together. Just like you could go to a show and see Nirvana with the Rolling Stones, or you could see Fall Out Boy with Aerosmith or whatever. Hip-hop is like, it's done got so categorized, and it done got people defining what it is. Like, if you ain't got your rims and your bitches and hoes, and if you don't got a sneaker deal, and if you ain't doing endorsements, no, you don't need none of that. All you need is a stage, a crowd, and a microphone, some beats, a DJ, a live band, whatever it is that makes music possible. That's what block music represents. So the world better watch out, because DMC, I'm a real nice guy, and they got me pissed off, and you don't want to see DMC pissed off, because he's going to be going into the blocks and the streets of every nation, every country around the world, and we're going to take back our culture.
It's about time somebody did.
I know, and the scary thing is I would be doing meet and greets and stuff like that with kids, and I would just say, I'm going to start block music and this and that, and I would get all excited, just to get them roused up, and these kids, they ain't laughing. People think it's just, the old school artists saying this. And like I said earlier, people go, "Oh, DMC, you're just saying this and you're jealous of." I ain't jealous of nobody, because none of these cats today, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, could do what Run DMC did anyway. We held our own. That's what hip-hop is about. You got 50 groups out now sounding alike, looking alike, acting alike, and it's all fakeness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I speak like this, they go, "Okay, DMC, you're just saying that because, you're 35, you're older now, more mature." And I go, "True, but you got to understand something, homie. I've been saying this since I was 12. All the great rap records, even before rap records was made, all the great hip-hop was made by individuals 12 no older than 23 years old. But you got grown-ass men 25 to 40 years old running around acting like the little kids that they want to sell their records to. That's what messed up the business. It's not only messing up the business, it's messing up our communities."
Definitely. Like, I run a hip-hop site, and I have users ranging from 15 to 35, and all of us say the same thing. Like, we all listen to rap classics radio stations because rap today is not what it used to be. And
what's crazy about listening to old rap, it's relevant to our situation today.
Mm-hmm.
Poverty, crime, sex, violence. People get it twisted. When people say classic, classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know why classic rock is so powerful? Because classic doesn't mean, it means better than anything that'll come after it. Old school doesn't mean old. Old school means better than anything that'll ever come after it. All the old school artists are better than the newest artist that's coming out tomorrow. And until we instill our values and what inspired us to create hip-hop into the younger generation, you ain't going to get what we gave y'all. So since the younger generation is so focused on money, it's time for artists that live, die by hip-hop to just do what they do. That's what block music is. It's not me saying I need a producer and I need to get the hot rapper. I'm going to go in my basement whether it's digging in the crate or whether it's pulling out some guitars and some drums or whether it's just beating on the table, and I'm a create a piece of art. That's what this is about. And people, and I got everybody, people in the business Run DMC. There's not a better candidate to set that movement off than you. It's not like I'm saying hip-hop is over. Hip-hop could never die. You know why? How could hip-hop be dead king if me and you are alive?
Definitely lives within us.
And, I always get the question, what do you think about hip-hop? I just say this. When they started, listen, during any industry, when you look at a time where things was messed up, I say this, hip-hop is dead. Wow, they saying that. Look at who's running the business and look at who's dominant. They the ones that let it die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got superstar rappers making gazillions of dollars, a lot of money, and they sit back at home and let that statement be spoken? Hip-hop is dead. Then I got to say this. Look at who's running it and look who's, even if it's sports. Oh, from 1967 to 1978, this particular sport, ticket sales were down. They were doing, you were getting B level and C level athletes, and everything was propaganda and the promotion and marketing, and the spirit of the whole sport was look at the players and look at the owners. Now, when you get some good players in there and you get some real owners in there, everything is good for everybody. That's why what was good about the old school is this. You have Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, Cool G Rap and Polo, Eric B. and Rakim, Tribe Called Quest, leaders of the new school, NWA, King T, Ice-T. You had Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You had De La Soul. You had Stetsasonic. You had Big Daddy Kane. You had Special A. You had the Fat Boys. You had Curtis Blow. You had who else was on tour? You had Houdini. You had all of these different elements. We all coexisted at the same time. That's what made growth, evolution, education, inspiration, and motivation possible. LL Cool J said it so eloquently a couple of years ago. He said, hip-hop today is one long video and one long record because every rapper is a punk because nobody is trying to be different to represent the differences in our culture.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the same, wants to be the superstar.
And get a check. And that's all good. Listen, don't get me wrong. Being compensated for your talent and hard work is good, but it's not good when it's done at the expense of your audience and not even that, your generation.
Yeah, because today's generation, looking up at, like you said, the hip-hop today.
Yeah, the kids look at these images and say, man, I got to be that. But they got to be that by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I tell a kid, listen, hip-hop didn't just create rappers. You can still be hip-hop. Why don't you be the director? Why don't you be the director that's going to tell Jay-Z what to do in his video? He got whips and mansions, too, and you should see the kid he does. I'm saying, why don't you be the cameraman, the lighter, the journalist? You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop, I said, some of the best graffiti artists are the guys that's designing your Nikes, young brother. Really? And he got whips and mansions, too. He don't even live in the ghetto no more. Got a house in Malibu. And he's designing things, but these kids is thinking, I got to be thugged out. I got to be... See, Run DMC, we represented people when Puff Daddy, Diddy seen us and said, I knew what I wanted to be. So he didn't just become a Run DMC clone. He became a businessman. His Puffy's problem is he did it all. He was the artist, he was the businessman, he was the manager, he was the dancer, he was the producer. But look what that inspired. Chris Rock, the actor. Yeah. On inside the actor's studio, he put a big picture of Run DMC and said, that's me. That is Adrian Brody. He told me, man, I'm from Flushing. I am Adrian Brody because of you guys. Boys the Men. We was touring with Boys the Men. They came in our dressing room and said, where are Boys the Men? Because of you. And we was looking at them going, but y'all don't have Adidas and Go Change. They said, no. We can't have the Go Change because then that'd be fake. But we seen y'all and said, okay, we can do this and still be down. Public Enemy, Chuck D. He didn't want to make records, but we told Chuck, you don't got to rap like us and talk about sneakers and Adidas. You can rap about what you want to rap about. I could. Chuck was like, I could? I said, yes, rap about Farrakhan and yes, the rhythm. Chuck prophesied everything going with rap. Now, Chuck prophesied it would happen. Even when Chuck was new. Remember he said, radio, suckers don't play me. They didn't want to play that positivity, that inspirational, motivational, political, economic. They didn't want to hear Chuck on the radio because Chuck came at a time when we was rhyming about Cadillacs and gold chains and money and what girl is going to suck this and do that. And Chuck came through with that. The radio refused to play that. He was scary to the powers that be. And it's like I tell a kid, yo, even though Run DMC, we rhymed about our sneakers. Even when we rhymed about our sneakers, we didn't say we're cool because I got 100 pair of sneakers. We say, young brother or sister, your Adidas ain't just made for you to sell drugs, get a new pair of sneakers, and stand on a corner. These Adidas went around the world. We stepped on stage at Live Aid. All the people gave and the poor got paid. That's the power these sneakers have. Not just I'm going to go rob, stick up and sell some drugs to get some fresh new clothes and stand on the corner in your own neighborhood. If you're going to put these Adidas on, you better go places in life. These kids don't see that no more. They see, oh man, I gotta be thugged out. I gotta have a reputation. I gotta rhyme like that. I gotta talk like that. I gotta have a wit like that. No, you don't, man. You listen. The superstar, the next superstar rapper is gonna be rhyming about
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're real to yourself and real to your fans, then people will love you.
I'm telling young kids all the time. And the guy come to me with his manager, here's my artist. And I hear the artist spit. I'm saying, yo, you sound just like Jadakiss, man. I said, what's going to make you different than all the 150 rappers out there? I said, you want this young man to be successful in hip-hop? Make him at 21 years old go home and talk about politics, religion, and economics. Watch what happens to his career. Because he'll be different from everybody out there proving they could spit a 16-bar rhyme.
Yep.
You got to think about it. Sugar Hill was different from R&B. Grandmaster Flash was different from Sugar Hill. Africa Bambaataa came with Planet Rock. He was different from The Message and Sugar Hill. The Run DMC came along with The Rock. Rockbox was different from Planet Rock, Message, and Rapper's Delight. LL Cool J came with I Need Love. That was different from Rockbox, Rapper's Delight, The Message, and Planet Rock. And then Public Enemy came with Rebel Without a Pause, which was different from... Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I present that to the kids, they go, wow, everybody want to be a thug. You know who's the realest cat? And they never talk about him? Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Mm-hmm.
He was homeless, running around the streets of East Orange, New Jersey with a machete. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing what he had to do to survive. But when he walked to the microphone, look what came out of Tretch's thug ass. OPP, Ghetto Bastard, Hip Hop Hooray. He didn't get up there, rob you, and I'm this and I'm gangster. He was living that, but look what he did with the microphone. Kids today don't see that.
No, they definitely don't.
They think, if it's like this. It's like if you look at I say this when I do my lectures. Look at Eric B. and Rakim. When Rakim could have said, I'm Rakim Allah, gangster stick-up kid. I'm going to rob all you motherfuckers and take all your money. But when he got on the microphone, he said, I used to roll up. This a hold up. I don't do that no more. So the gangsters in the hood was like, yo, that's real, man. I respect that, man, because he's keeping it real. He didn't say, I'm Rakim and I'll rob you blind. He could have probably sold 60 million albums. But he knew because it was hip-hop. Now, understand, I'm keeping everything I've been saying in the text of hip-hop, context of hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he had a responsibility. Just like Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, they were a street gang. We had gangs in New York, but when we started doing hip-hop, Africa and the Zulu Nation, they didn't rhyme about how many gang fights they won. They didn't rhyme about how much drugs they were pushing in New York. They didn't rhyme about the arsenal of guns that was up in the Bronx. They made records, Planet Rock.
Yeah.
We know a place where the lights are hot. It is if you listen, I tell these young kids, y'all listening to all this bullshit on the radio saying this guy's the greatest rapper that ever lived. Go listen to what these guys from the Bronx 20 years ago were doing. Rock to the planet, the Soul Sonic Force, Mr. Biggs, Pow Wow, and MC Boo. We emphasize to show we got ego, make this your name. Rock it, Bade. That's rapping. That's incredible. Forget, I'm the killer man, putting it down. That's bullshit. Go listen to Planet Rock, and you'll know what I'm talking about this whole interview.
I actually, doing research for this interview, I went on YouTube and I found Sucker MCs by You and Run. And at the end of it was on some graffiti show or something. At the end of it, Kumo D and Special K. Yeah, Graffiti Rock. I got the audio clip for that I'll be playing after this interview.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, and that's...
Yeah, that was like the first hip-hop show.
Yeah.
It was a pilot. I don't think it popped off but because it was so early, but Mo D and them was on it with us.
Yeah, Mo D and Special K.
And Special K.
Yeah. I found that today, and I got the audio for it.
That was back in the day, man. Wow, that was 82, 83. Wow. I wouldn't...
80
Rock.
Yeah, definitely. Can you tell me and my listeners a little bit more where we can find DMC, like your MySpace and your official website and stuff?
Okay, you could go to my website is me-dmc.com. And you could go to my MySpace, whatever it is. I mean, my son, he helps me with it. He's 14 years old. It's the MySpace thing/DMC. And I would say in about 2 weeks, I'm going to be putting the single up on my MySpace and website for sale.
I'll definitely be
copping
that.
Putting music out there. And I'm probably going to sell my album I'm probably going to sell 2 albums for $5.
Just to give back to the community what they need, right?
Exactly. You got it. You right on there. I ain't gonna be like, $19.99. And I'm gonna sell 2 albums for $5 because I mean, it's a bad analogy, but it's a good analogy. Like before the drug dealers were rappers, just to try to make, before the drug dealers became rappers, because it was just another hustle for them, because they really, some of them really don't care about the culture. They just want to get money, and that's good. Do what you want to do. But there used to be a thing where a lot of drugs that came in and polluted, all drugs pollute and ruin, but I'm trying to keep this in the context of hip-hop for the listener of this interview. They used to go, okay, the guys down the block are selling your garbage. I'll give you 2 for $5 because my product is better. So that's the mentality. I'm giving away 2 full albums of difference. It ain't going to be, 14 songs that sound alike. It's going to be rock. It's going to be some hip-hop. It's going to be some bass lines up in there. It's going to be some drums, some hot music. I'm giving you 2 for $5 because I feel the world deserves quality product.
Yeah, I'll be definitely copping that. I'll be in touch with you on MySpace and finding out when that comes out.
I'll make sure you get the single as soon as we get them ready to be distributed. Once again, the single is Block Music Education, and the B-side is a record called Wife Beater with a rapper named True Montana, and it's about domestic violence. I did a record about domestic violence because everybody was like, oh, gee, why is the guy? Because usually it's the women saying, don't beat on me, and, it's not good. The reason why I did a record about domestic violence is because the women need a man to fight for them. So the girl that did the record for it, domestic violence is something close to her life. So we did a record addressing domestic violence called Wife Beater, which is the B-side.
I think I've heard of her before, True Montana.
Yep, she's incredible.
Definitely.
I hooked up with her and was like, where have you been all my life? Because that's another thing. Chuck D was like, oh, hip-hop's so great, what happened to the female rappers? What happened to the female rappers is this. MTV and Viacom would ever show our young sisters, you can only be a video mama, you can only be a stupid girl in favor of love, or you can only be some stupid video chick, as opposed to seeing young, powerful women saying something.
Like MC Light.
So I'm going to use the position I'm in. We don't need permission to be positive, innovative, and creative. All we got to do is do what we did when hip-hop first came alive, just to do it.
Yeah, to get out what you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. Even if I can't get on radio and TV no more, I'm going to be bold enough. I'm going to start taking it back to the park. I'm going to start to bust light poles open. So don't be surprised in the neighborhood with you, somebody comes running home, Mommy, Daddy, there's a man in the park rhyming.
Back to block
And I'm
music.
not joking, for real. I told a kid that he was like a DMC man. I came up to New York, and I was trying to get meetings with Bad Boy and Universal and, the A&Rs is front. I mean, I said, yo, how much material, guys? I said, when you go back to Philly, because he was a college kid, I said, Saturday, take your equipment, go to your local park, bust the light pole open, plug up, do your music. That's how you're going to promote yourself. And I said, yo, you can do it until the police come and say you can't. And when you go home, come back tomorrow. Just be persistent. He was like, wow, I never thought of that. I'm about to do that again. I'm about to create hip-hop all over again. But this time, I ain't going to let those corporate rats, roaches, and poisonous snakes in. We're going to control hip-hop from the inside out and keep all the negative, commercialistic, corporate vipers outside. Listen, put it like this. They ain't coming in the basement anymore, and they ain't coming. You walk through those gates, you walk through those park gates, and beating your ass. That's my mentality. It's block music because hip-hop lives.
It definitely lives, and you're just living proof.
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem. Is there anything else you want to add to this before we end?
No, I just want to say thank everybody that ever supported, not just Run DMC, hip-hop. And listen, y'all, it could never die, because as long as I'm alive, hip-hop ain't dead. I'm going to kick this one off the top of the head. Ever since the day I walked this way, because I do hip-hop, it's here to stay. We ain't going nowhere.
Again, man, I want to thank you for honoring me with the interview, and I just wish there was more people like you in hip-hop, because you're truly a legend and inspiration to many. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me. But definitely stay on me. Like, hit me up once a week or something so I can get that single to you when it's ready.
I will, for sure.